In this video, you'll discover mind-blowing facts, from the demonstration of wormholes to a secret fact about why gold is precious than diamond, and something that shook all of Japan. A dark secret of Mount Fuji has made the entire world feel like it's in danger. And why did Nikola Tesla shock his own body with electricity? You'll learn about such unknown, unique facts across different categories today. Fact number 13. The nuclear bomb that destroyed Hiroshima and turned the city into steam used 50 kilograms of uranium. You might have heard this before, but let me show you something truly mind-blowing. Imagine a small cube so tiny it could fit in the palm of your hand. Believe it or not, that's roughly how much uranium it took to cause such unimaginable destruction. Here's what happened. The bomb carried 50 kilograms of uranium, which acted as the explosive material. But this wasn't just any explosive. It was uranium-235, a special kind of uranium used in nuclear weapons. When the bomb was dropped, most people think all 50 kilograms were responsible for the explosion. But here's the surprising truth. Only about 1 to 2 kilograms actually caused the destruction. That's right. A piece of uranium small enough to fit in your hand had the power to vaporize an entire city. So why didn't the entire 50 kilograms get used? Here's where it gets interesting. In a nuclear explosion, uranium atoms split in a process called a chain reaction. When this happens, a tiny amount of uranium releases an enormous amount of energy. But here's the catch. The chain reaction is so powerful and so fast that it destroys everything nearby before the rest of the uranium can even start reacting. Essentially, the explosion shuts itself down before the entire 50 kilograms can be used. That means about 99% of the uranium in the bomb was wasted. Think about it this way. Imagine if you replaced the gunpowder in a small firecracker with just a pinch of uranium-235. That tiny amount would create an explosion so big it could destroy everything within 3 to 4 kilometers. That's how powerful uranium-235 is. Now, here's another surprising fact. Producing even a small amount of uranium-235 takes an incredible amount of time. It can take 5 to 6 years in a specialized factory to create just a tiny bit of this material. And no, you can't simply Google buy uranium-235 or order it online. It's one of the most tightly controlled and dangerous substances on Earth. So the next time you hear about the power of nuclear weapons, remember this. It only takes a tiny piece of uranium to create an explosion that can change the course of history. That's the incredible and terrifying reality of nuclear energy. Fact number 12. This is a fact that will make you say, how could such a big scientist do this? Nikola Tesla is considered one of the most intelligent people ever to walk this earth. Did you know he claimed he would live past 100, possibly even up to 150 years? Now, ordinary people didn't understand why he said that. Here's why. Most of his experiments were novel and groundbreaking. He spoke about vibrations, electricity, and concepts that people still use today. But during public demonstrations, Tesla would also say something intriguing, that humanity has yet to capture the true power of electricity. He believed it could be used in ways people didn't know about. And most importantly, he theorized that electricity could be therapeutic for the human body. He believed that somehow electricity could increase human lifespan. Tesla often spoke about such strange ideas, and it's not that just because someone says it, it's 100% true. However, some people believe that Tesla privately shocked himself with electricity in the hope that his theory would succeed, and he would become the longest living human ever. But that didn't happen. Eventually, Tesla passed away at the age of 86, disproving this theory. However, delving into his life reveals many interesting facts. Fact number 11. If we want to travel 1 billion kilometers in the universe, even at the speed of light, it would take millions of years. But a wormhole is a magical concept that can realistically and scientifically reduce this distance to just 3 to 4 months. Many people have been fascinated by this and have asked me to explain wormholes further. Here's a simple demonstration scientists often use. I have a normal A4 size paper and a pen. Now imagine one side of the paper represents Earth and the other side represents the end of the Milky Way galaxy, millions of kilometers away. Even if we build a spaceship that travels at the highest speed possible, the speed of light, it would still take 100,000 years to reach the other side. Clearly, that's not practical. But according to Einstein, space can bend. Space is like fabric. So instead of traveling at the speed of light for 100,000 years, what if we could bend space itself? If we create a wormhole, we can make a shortcut. Here's how. If space folds and you create a hole between the 2 points, you can travel instantly. Wormholes bend the fabric of space, allowing us to bypass physical distance. This concept is magical yet realistic. It's also called the Einstein-Rosen bridge. Just like we recently captured a real image of a black hole, something science had never seen before, perhaps one day, scientists will either create or catch a wormhole in space. Fact number 10. This is one of the strangest coincidences in the world. Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, was created by a person who never revealed their identity. Even after all these years, their identity has never been disclosed. The name associated with them was Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, this is believed to be their real name. But where this person is today, how they're living, whether they are hiding in a jungle, living a hermit's life, meditating on a mountain, or disguised as someone else with plastic surgery, is all unknown. All we know is that the founder of Bitcoin is known as Satoshi Nakamoto. Here's a very strange coincidence. If you take the names of certain technology companies and stack them together, like Samsung's Sa, Toshiba's Toshi, Nakamichi's Naka, and Motorola's Moto, you end up forming Satoshi Nakamoto. This seems like an extremely weird and fascinating coincidence. Comment below and let me know what you think about this. Fact number 9. If someone were to ask you what the biggest company in the history of the world is, the answer might surprise you. It's not a company like Apple or Microsoft, but one that once ruled India, the British Empire's Dutch East India Company. To give you an interesting perspective, imagine if a single company today dominated USA clothing industry so much that it held 10% of the market share. You'd think, wow, this company is massive. In some cases, a company might even hold 50% of a specific industry in a single country. That's impressive, right? But now imagine this. Could there be a company so powerful that it controlled half of the world's entire trade? It sounds impossible in today's time, doesn't it? But back in the 1720s, the Dutch East India Company reached its peak, and it actually controlled half of the global trade. To put it into numbers, its valuation at the time was around $8 trillion, an unimaginable figure for that era. For comparison, Apple, the most valuable company today, has only recently crossed a valuation of $3 trillion. This means the East India Company was worth nearly 3 times as much over 200 years ago. At its peak, the company was so influential that it had vast areas of the world under its control. A significant portion of the global map was essentially under the company's or Britain's rule. And yet, despite such dominance, the company eventually vanished completely, leaving behind nothing but history. Fascinating, isn't it? Fact number 8. Something truly shocking has happened this month. Subtract 130 from the current year. Between 1894 and 2024, not once has anything like this ever occurred. Japan's iconic Mount Fuji, perhaps the most famous mountain in the country, has always been blanketed in snow by the time November arrives. But here we are in November 2024, and shockingly, Mount Fuji is still snow-free. In 130 years of recorded history, this has never happened before. The mountain, usually a symbol of winter's beauty, now stands completely dry. And that's not all. Even as November rolls on, air conditioners are still running in homes, battling unseasonable warmth. It's impossible to see this and not wonder, is this what global warming truly looks like? This isn't just rare, it's unprecedented. Historical records and scientific articles confirm that for the first time in over a century, Mount Fuji remains barren of snow at this time of year. It's a stark and undeniable reminder of how rapidly our planet is changing. Fact number 7. Think about the computer you use daily, your desktop. How many wires are typically connected to it? If you count carefully, it might be around 20 to 30 wires, depending on the setup. But now, take a look at this picture from 1958, a computer from that era. This massive machine, incapable of running even GTA 5 at 1 FPS, had a staggering 15,000 wires. Yes, back in the 1950s and 60s, the average computer had around 15,000 individual connections. This specific model is an IBM computer, and assembling it was no easy task. Engineers had to physically piece it together, spending several days ensuring every wire was correctly installed. It's incredible to see how far technology has come, shrinking from massive wire-filled rooms to the sleek, compact devices we use today. Fact number 6. You are obviously breathing right now. So, place your fingers under your nose, and you might feel that one nostril is letting out more air than the other, and one is letting out less. Many people get worried and think, am I dying? Is one of my nostrils not working properly? But no, it's just a natural cycle of your body called the nasal cycle. What happens is that both nostrils are constantly taking in and releasing air 24 hours a day, even when you sleep. So, does your nose ever get irritated? From the moment you were born, your nostrils have been facing the air so they don't get chafed or damaged. The reason behind this is that one nostril works harder at one time, and the other gets a bit of rest. It's like a shift system. One nostril works during the day, and the other works at night. In simple terms, both nostrils alternate and give each other rest, which is why one nostril might seem more active than the other. This is the nasal cycle. Fact number 5. Look at this. This is a normal wind turbine, but the structure at its base might be something you've never seen before. Look at the base of the wind turbine. It has so much steel in it. A huge metal framework is built under a wind turbine. In large wind turbines, thousands of kilos, and in some cases, millions of kilos of metal are used. When the wind turbine spins, a huge amount of pressure is created. The base shakes under the pressure, and you can say that when the wind is at full force, thousands of kilos of force are applied to the base. And because a wind turbine's life is 20 to 30 years, it must last that long. The engineers say that's why they use so many kilos of metal in the framework. Fact number 4. This fact might interest you a lot. This is an ITR document from Australia, which went viral on Twitter some time ago. It shows where your tax money goes. Whether or not you pay direct taxes, you contribute to taxes whenever you buy something. For example, if you purchase a car worth $24,000, approximately $480 of that amount goes toward taxes. This is an example of indirect taxes, which are already included in the price of goods and services. So, it's just common sense that if so much tax is being paid, the government should show us an approximate breakdown of where the tax money is being used. We should be able to see this in our account, where exactly our tax money is going. In many countries, including Australia, if you've paid $1,200 in income tax by the end of the year, shouldn't we know where our $1,200 were used? Was it well spent or just disappeared? We should have some transparency, but right now, it's not being managed that way. However, as the public is becoming more aware of these things, I think this kind of transparency will come in the next few years. Fact number 3. I got this question on my Discord server. If you dress a newborn baby in clothes and never let them take it off, will the clothes rip like Hulks? It's an interesting question. When babies are around 10 days old, during the next 1 or 2 years, their body undergoes intense growth. Their body size can double or triple in just a few months. So, if you put clothes on them and never change them, will the clothes rip like Hulks? Of course, yes they will. The clothes will get tighter, and within 10 to 11 months, they'll tear. So, yes, babies grow so rapidly in terms of physical growth, and cell growth that their clothes wouldn't last long. By the way, if you're interested in these amazing facts like I am, you can join my Discord server. The link is in the description. Fact number 2. This is a very deep fact, and honestly, it's not a good one. You might find it strange, but earlier this year, a study was conducted in 38 countries involving nearly 400,000 scientists. The results of this study are shocking. Out of 100 scientists, 33 of them quit their careers within 5 years. And out of 150 scientists, half of them leave their careers after 10 years. Now, this is interesting to understand because when someone asks a child what they want to be when they grow up, they often say a doctor, engineer, or scientist. People get excited when a child says they want to be a doctor or engineer, but when someone says they want to be a scientist, people don't seem as interested. The reason behind this is important. Doctors and engineers get a lot of respect, but the career of a scientist is often undervalued. If a child says they want to be a scientist, people often think it's odd. They'll be doing experiments, but that's about it. However, in general, the respect for scientists is at par with that of doctors. So, why is the career of a scientist both good and bad? Let me explain. See, whatever job you do, at the end of the day, you need food on the table. You need money for survival. In the study, scientists mentioned that they want to research and publish their findings, but their livelihood should also be secure. They should earn enough money to live comfortably. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Even if someone becomes a scientist, they often don't make as much money compared to other professions. Respect is one thing, but if you're unable to pay your bills during an emergency, then what good is respect? Money matters too. While scientists in developed countries also get low salaries, the situation is even worse in some countries. And that's why, out of 100 scientists, 33 quit within 5 years, and half leave within 10 years of their career. Fact number 1. Gold is often referred to as the God's currency, the ultimate store of value. Unlike other forms of currency, gold is not dependent on any government or institution. Its value has stood the test of time. 5,000 years ago, it was precious, and even 10,000 years from now, it will remain so. The reason? Gold is rare, durable, and universally coveted. Now, you might wonder, what about platinum, silver, or diamonds? They're rare too, right? And in some cases, like diamonds, their price is even 100 times higher than gold. So why is gold considered superior? Let's break it down. Diamonds. True, diamonds are valuable, but technology has changed the game. Lab-grown diamonds are now almost indistinguishable from natural ones and can be produced in abundance using carbon and intense pressure. As this technology improves, the rarity of natural diamonds diminishes, and with it, their perceived value. That's why the price of diamonds isn't skyrocketing like before. Silver. Silver is an incredible metal, but not perfect. Unlike gold, silver is prone to tarnishing, a reaction with sulfur compounds in the air that dulls its shine over time. While silver doesn't rust like iron, it's not as immortal as gold. Gold. Here's where gold shines, literally and figuratively. Gold doesn't rust, it doesn't tarnish, and it doesn't react with any element under normal conditions. The shine of gold that you see today will remain the same for thousands of years. That unparalleled durability and timeless appeal make gold the ultimate metal, unmatched in its value and aura. This is why gold continues to sit at the top, far above other rare elements. It's untouchable, unchanging, and truly worthy of its title as God's currency. That wraps up today's fascinating facts. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon for updates. See you in the next video.